You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 87. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Jeff Barnard's caveman sidekick who speaks like an Oxford Don, only with no articles. Jeff's happy today.
All right. Well, today it's prehistoric pandemonium as we take another look at Charlton Comics. It's part 3 of our 4-part series. And it's going to be Korg and Reptilicus / Reptisaurus today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Not that I've finished them.
But yeah, let's jump right into it.
Rhymes of Geek? Or do you want to thank those people at Rhymes of Geek at the beginning and the end, or just at the end?
I think I was going to do it at the end, but I'll do it now. Comic Reflections is a proud member of the Rhymes with Geek podcast network. You can listen to our show, plus other cool podcasts like Anti-Fanboy, Feed It Comics, Super Podcasto Magnifico, and many others, plus lots of other cool, groovy articles and comic book content, blah, 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 at rhymeswithgeek.com.
That's a very good elevator speech. Did you have that ready?
Well, we kind of used to do it before. Right. I left the network for a while. I'm like, I like it. Let's go back. Cool. So, but yes, let's dig right in. Our first comic we're going to talk about today is Korg, 70,000 BC, number 5. And the lead story is called Peace, written and drawn by Pat Boyette.
Oh, peace with an exclamation point.
Yeah.
Yeah, 70,000 BC before they invented articles. But, the end.
Right.
Really.
You realize Korg and his family kind of talk like Bizarro. Me am go do this thing,
But not as funny.
Right.
I had trouble telling Korg and Bach apart. Actually, I had trouble telling his mate, Mara, from the Kane and Ree and Tor. They're not very good, well-drawn faces.
Well, and, Korg and Bach especially, they both have the molestache, and constant 5 o'clock shadow. I think Korg's tunic and Bach's tunic kind of look different, and that's the way you're supposed to tell them apart. Korg does a single strap, Bach does 2.
Okay. Okay.
So what's happening? They're chillaxing on this island, and things are groovy. I remember last time we read Korg, the kids had been lost or whatever, but apparently Korg, they found them. So.
Oh, okay. So, they're swimming in the lake, and then they hear, and someone says, Korg, is woman scream.
Yeah, Bach says that.
Yeah, because he has a tunic with 2 shoulders. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Bach goes to save her. Oh, she's naked because she has a frond.
Frond?
Yeah, is that what a big leaf is called?
Yeah.
Over her, so.
Yeah.
So she is being attacked by the terrible Smire. It comes by and just kicks his butt. And this is one of the most ugliest creatures in comicdom.
Yeah, he's like 7 foot tall. He's got a huge wide nose. He's got the what we refer to as the skullet, bald with long hair in the back.
Crooked teeth, so.
Yeah, he's gross. But very well drawn by Pat Boyette. Did a lot of great horror work, both for Charlton and at Warren. So it's really where he shined.
So Bach fights Smire.
Yeah.
Which is a strange name.
Right. But and Bach fights dirty. He hits him in the knee with a stick, and then the chin.
Yeah. He don't play.
No.
So after this, Bach is smitten with this girl whose name is Roka?
Sure.
And so he starts doing chores and really getting, I don't know, he's a changed man.
Well, yeah, he wants a mate. Hello.
And, what's his... Okay.
Korg's son, Thane or Tane.
Yeah, he's in love with her too. Bach finds that amusing.
Yeah.
One night...
there's a raid on their cave.
Yeah, and the girl is taken away.
Yeah. Back to Smire.
The Smire are just evil grin.
He's gross.
So Bach goes after him, but Tane is nowhere to be found. So they think that Tane went to find her as well. And Bach has this weird dream of breaking these dinosaur eggs, And the eggs are the size of a Volkswagen Beetle.
Right.
But I think in real life, eggs are, I don't know, quarter size of a loaf of bread or something.
Right.
Dinosaur eggs. So.
Yeah, these are huge in this. But then Korg ends up fighting this big old dinosaur, and it's cool looking.
Oh, it is Korg, but it's a dream.
Oh, see, I didn't even realize it was a dream.
Yeah.
But
he is actually, whoa! It look. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's Korg, and he's dreaming, and he wakes up, and a saber-toothed tiger cub is chawing on his leg, and of course that makes Mama mad, and so he runs and kills the mama.
Right. A great, probably like an allosaur or something that he's fighting in that dream, and then he fights this tiger, which is also cool.
Yeah.
Then he makes his way to the enemy village or whatever.
Up, he takes the girl, but she wants to stay with Smire because she's in love with him.
Man,
yeah.
Capricious. Man, that sounds like girls I've dated.
Oh, yeah, women, what can you do with them? So, okay.
I can tell you a few things, but they're not fit for a broadcast.
Yeah, Zani loved Terrible Smire. Okay, yeah, she's easy to please, I guess.
Apparently. So, yeah, just one of those things, I guess.
Yeah. Then Tane was just looking for some stuff some fish to give to Zani, and you'll find out that Zani's gone.
Yeah, so it wasn't a big deal. He wasn't actually lost. He was just fishing. So we do have a one-page filler that's really cool. It's also by Pat Boyette. It's called The Thing, and it's just kind of about our Bigfoot myths and stuff.
Northwest. America, Sasquatch.
Yeah.
So, all right, but okay.
So
that you can't say something nice.
Okay.
It's. I don't like the way it's drawn. I thought the story was. The story could have been good. There's some really flat. It was kind of interesting what's going on, and the woman liking Smire was. I did not see that coming. I thought it was cool, but. Just could have been handled better.
Sure. Yeah. That's something you'll find a lot with Charlton. A lot of things are... Some things are actually really quite great, but a lot of things are like pretty pedestrian or just all right. But the next book, and this is really going to... The next few books was really going to dominate this episode.
You have been warned.
Right. We have to take a look at Reptilicus, #1, and the lead story is written by Joe Gill. It's adapted from the screenplay. This is a movie adaptation with art by Bill Molno, pencils, and Vince Alacia inking. Now, Reptilicus was a Danish monster movie from the early 60s, an American International picture.
Sign of quality there.
Right.
I think they did most of the beach movies and such like that.
Did they? I mean, I did a lot of, like, Roger Corman's movies were all American International Pictures. The Hammer films were distributed, or many of them were distributed in the States by AIP, I think. But, I could be wrong about that. But a lot of 60s monster
films are actually good. And the beach movies are kind of...
Yeah. But Reptilicus shares something with AIP and Charlton in that, okay, Charlton kind of made a thing in the early 60s of taking these monster movies and doing comics of them. They had Conga and Gorgo, both of which were AIP movies, and they ran for several years as comic books. And Reptilicus, I think, was them trying to do another one. But third time wasn't the charm. It's weird. It ran for 2 issues as Reptilicus, and either the license lapsed or they realized they'd only license it for adaptation, not for extended adventures. And then they changed the series. They changed the color of the monster and kind of made him more of a character, and changed it to Reptisaurus, which we'll talk about also today. Yeah. So, but and that ran for about 6 or 7 issues.
The problem with a monster as a hero is that the monster cannot think or talk. So he can't explain anything. He can't have an interaction with people besides chewing them.
Right. So. It has to involve the human beings that interact with the monster.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting premise in general for a comic book story. I think they did it pretty well with Gorgo and Conga.
Mm-hmm.
Reptilicus / Reptisaurus, just okay. But let's take a look. Reptilicus, number 1.
Yeah. Danish copper miners find a really hard piece of flesh in the Arctic, and they bring it back, and it's reptilian. So the scientist calls it Reptilicus, which is ridiculous.
Right?
Yeah. I wonder if it sounds better in Danish.
Maybe. I mean, and I can't think of any other Danish monster movies.
I cannot think of a Danish movie, to tell you the truth.
Right.
Really?
Reptilicus is actually a pretty fun movie. It's a better movie than Gorgo or Conga.
Isn't that sad? You have a country and the only movie that anybody knows about from your country is Reptilicus.
I mean, I'm sure they have other films, but they probably don't get seen outside of Europe too much.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I can name Italian and Swedish and French and German and English, of course, and Russian.
Right,
and Polish films, but I can't think of a Danish film besides Reptilicus.
Yeah, but I enjoy Reptilicus as a movie. It's really fun, and as a comic book, it's a pretty good time.
Mm-hmm. All right, so they have it in Copenhagen, the Reptilicus part, and they're going to keep it in the deep freeze so it doesn't grow. And everyone goes to a party, and they leave the door open.
Duh. So it thaws, and the guy comes back, thinks it's going to be ruined, but it's starting to grow. It's regenerating.
Right. And then a happy accident. Oh, here comes the Americans. An American general. He was the world's worst goofball. And some... I don't know if she's wearing a uniform or what, but it's Connie, who's just the... Girl Friday, and kind of boring actually.
Yeah.
The general's a goob, so he's actually kind of entertaining.
Right.
So he goes golfing, and all of a sudden there's this huge lightning storm, and it blows up his golf game, which is bad. Right. And then it blows up Reptilicus, which is even worse because it makes him come alive.
Right. The lightning strikes the laboratory where the Reptilicus sample exists and is starting to grow, and this accelerates it.
Somebody in a lightning storm is pruning roses with a big metal shears. Not smart.
No.
Because Dane, not too bright. The work... Man, there's about 3 panels of explosions of the lightning.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that guy that's pruning it, he's inside a greenhouse.
Is he?
Maybe. It doesn't really matter.
No, it's grass.
Okay. That could easily be a hedge, but anyway, Reptilicus is huge now, and they got to destroy him. But how do you destroy a thing they have to destroy it whole, because any piece could grow into more monsters.
Well, they found out that bullets don't work.
Yeah. And
he eats helicopters like candy. All right, so...
He is a cool monster. Reptilicus is a winged monster.
Now here's General Goofball's great idea.
Yeah.
He wants in a tank to hold his attention, and then he's going to go around with a bazooka. It's like, I've got a hunting rifle. I'm going to send you around with a BB gun. The tank is far more powerful than bazooka, which is... not very accurate, not very far range, not as powerful as a tank cannon.
It's a dumb plan.
Yep, but he lives, but barely.
We're surprised he lived this long.
Actually, and he got his rank. But I don't know how he escapes. They don't show that.
Yeah, I remember in the movie, Reptilicus vomited acid all over the place or something.
Yeah, I don't think he did. He just eats stuff.
Yeah, and in the movie he didn't really fly, but in this he flies.
And he's ridiculous looking. It's really
wait till you see the movie, and it's a puppet.
Oh, okay. I don't mind bad effects or cheap effects if they're done. If the movie's good,
it is a cool movie.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean. the original King Kong, the effects, you can see the fingerprints on Kong and
Sure.
moving.
But
it
the
doesn't
movement
matter.
is great.
Oh man, you feel so sad for Kong.
Yeah.
And the last two King Kongs, I didn't give a dang about King Kong or actually anybody else in the movie.
Well, right. And I don't mean like a puppet, like a stop motion puppet, Reptilicus.
Yeah.
It's like a puppet.
Yeah.
Uh,
That could have been done well if it was done well. I haven't seen the movie, or if I have, it was when I was 8, and I can't remember that far.
It is a pretty fun movie.
Yeah. So Reptilicus creates havoc. And,
yeah, as giant monsters are wont to do.
Yeah. So then they try getting him with a flamethrower, and it doesn't work.
Right.
So what they do is give him narcotics.
Of course, get him stoned.
And apparently it works. And he falls asleep. And I'm not sure what they do with him.
I don't know. Do they try to take it to the Arctic maybe to keep him? You know?
But there's a piece of him that's in the ocean, and a seagull might eat it, but it may not. So who knows?
So I don't know if the Reptisaurus or Reptilicus that's in the rest of the series is the same one or a regeneration from a piece.
Yeah.
But anyway, we have an interesting backup story in this book called Daydreams. No credit on the writer, but I'll bet you it was Joe Gill. With penciled by Charles Nicholas and inked by Rock Mastroserio.
Yeah, it's a Walter Mitty type thing.
Yeah.
Guy who likes to imagine stuff going on. And he imagines that he goes to a doctor, and the doctor gives him kind of serum, and then becomes this hero. And then in real life, he gets in an accident, and here comes the doctor in his dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Oh, I don't want to go and be uncomfortable, and then dragons attack me and all this stuff." So he runs out of the hospital, and then he is happy with his fate.
His boring life, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, now Reptilicus becomes Reptisaurus. He's red now, and he's weird because he's like a long snake-like body, and along the long neck are the two wings, and then below them are two limbs that are either legs or hands.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
He looks like a worm with wings. It's really meh. This is bad.
But it's really funny because with Reptisaurus, they did they're following their formula of things that they did with Gorgo and Conga, is making him a monster that hates commies.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, let me get into this. It's Reptisaurus number 5, and the lead story is Reptisaurus and the People's Dragon. Probably written by Joe Gill, penciled by Joe Sinnott, who was one of Kirby's main anchors on the Fantastic Four, and inked by Vince Colletta, who inked Kirby a lot on Thor, I know, and tons of stuff. So,
you notice the "people's" was in quotation marks?
Correct, because this is about commies and stuff.
Right.
There's a cool scene. This Reptisaurus is swimming in the ocean and eats a whale.
Yeah.
Didn't Gorgo fight? Remember we read a Gorgo a long time ago, and he was eating whales too.
Yeah, a giant killer whale, but it looks like a blue whale.
Right.
And blue whales don't attack anything except krill, right?
I think you're correct, because they have like that thing they just suck in stuff.
Yeah.
They don't even like open their mouths.
I mean, they might knock over a boat, but they're not gonna. But he just eats. It looks like he's got a Reptilicus or Reptisaurus, or let's say Reppy.
I'm going to say Reptisaurus, but
he's got the whale in his mouth, and it looks like he's got like a big loaf of bread in his mouth. That's how big Reppy is. So
okay,
he's massive.
Right.
Okay, nuclear tests going on. Man, nuclear tests are.
Everywhere.
Oh man, I did not see this. There's a giant 10-foot inflatable boa constrictor.
Oh, an advertisement, yeah.
That is kind of cool. All right. More scarier than Reptisaurus. All right. A nuclear explosion makes Reptisaurus mad. So he
survives an atomic explosion.
Yeah.
So nothing could kill him.
Except for narcotics or something.
Right.
Oh, he looks so ridiculous. I miss Kirby. a little bit of Kirby, you know, they could have, hey, how can we make this guy a little bit better? Okay, you know.
Right.
You probably put in 5 lines and it looked great. Right. So now he goes to Communist China.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. I wonder if they have Chinese letters here, and I wonder if they're actual letters.
No, I think those are just kind of gibberish to signify someone speaking in Chinese, and it's like, yeah, they're speaking another language. We don't care what they're saying.
It looks kind of Chinese, but it doesn't really look Chinese. So.
Right, I don't think it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's meant to give the impression in the word balloons that, oh, they're speaking Chinese.
Right.
So.
No, so he's eating a bunch of he's trying to forage, and there's not much there because, as any Chinaman could have told him, it's slim pickings here.
So Reptisaurus is eating like the crops and stuff in China.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Chinese attack them, and they fail. They have a plane that goes, dives into them, and which is kind of interesting way to, but you know, planes are very powerful if you use them at, like the suicide kamikaze planes.
Right, the Zeros, yeah.
Yeah, but not as a bomb is just as powerful.
Right, so crashing. But I'm wondering if the guy like says, "I'm gonna crash into him," or like he just crashed in by accident.
Oh, I don't know.
It's left vague, but he does manage to knock
him down a bit, and he comes down and he eats some more Chinese people.
And he's hungry again an hour later.
All right, now here where it gets weird.
Okay. The Chinese are having a parade, and of course they have dragons and stuff in it. And the commies have built this like robotic dragon.
Yeah, they're really crafty, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, and it's ridiculous looking, but
it's fun.
Reptisaurus is interested.
He falls in love with this robot dragon.
Yeah.
And so the commies get the idea after Reptisaurus, is causing more damage. Hey, why don't we use this dragon to lure Reptisaurus to somewhere and then like blow him up by causing this to explode?
Yeah, which is, well, if a bomb's not going to do it, then what else is? But I guess I didn't read the papers.
Right.
Oh.
A bomb fails to destroy Reptisaurus.
Yeah.
World screwed.
Yeah.
You know.
So, all right. So he gets attacked and he runs off, but he dreams of the people's dragon.
Mm-hmm. I love how Reptisaurus goes to the Himalayas to take naps.
And Sasquatch checks him out.
Yeah, or the Yeti. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Although they say it's the same thing, I don't know. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Sasquatch is a Native American word.
Right.
And Yeti, being in the Himalayas.
Oh, yeah, but it could be the same creature.
Maybe.
It's very similar.
If they were real, but sure.
It's just interesting that there's two different...
right. I get the impression that the Yeti isn't like a giant creature, but it is like a man-like ape or something of the region. Like it's... I don't know. But so anyway, the Chinese... They try that. Hey, let's blow up the dragon while Reptisaurus is going in for loving time, and blows up. Reptisaurus is angry and goes back to the Himalayas.
And falls asleep, but he leaves, left China to the commies and for a long siesta. And there's Yeti there.
Just yeah. So we have a backup story. I think a couple in this issue, and the first is called First Meeting. I had no credits on this, but yeah.
Okay. Good old Americans find a flying saucer out in space, and they meet. And I go, man. So the people look like green humanoids, the lizard-like people. But they said, "Don't get near us. Stay away." So, and they left in a hurry. What the green people were actually humanoid, looked like people, but they know that there is a lot of germs on the humans.
Yeah. So they pull off the rubber mask, and they look like regular human beings. But it was to deter people of Earth from trying to colonize their world or whatever.
No, coming by and giving them germs.
Right.
But the twist is that the humans have ESP and know what's going on. So now they're going to send a bunch of people over there anyway. So I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah. So that was just a little quickie, and we've got one more backup stories in this. It's called Monsters from Outer Space, and no credit on the writing, but art by oh, you're right, art by Rock Mastroserio, who did a ton of work for Charlton in the 50s and 60s, and he died young. He had a heart attack in 1968, and he was only 40.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Well, we have monsters from outer space, and there's some pictures of monsters. There's a polyhydra, which should be a trihydra because it has 3 heads. A space worm who likes eating ships. A space spider who eats asteroids. And Earth like ours, but dinosaurs evolved to intelligence. There's the flying famous space rats of Mars. I never heard of them.
Right.
Mantas. What else? Ants.
Yeah, I like the humanoid ants thing, but I also like the idea of giant manta rays flying through space.
Manta rays are about the coolest thing ever.
They are rad.
Yep. All right.
So yeah, that wasn't even really a story. It was just like, here's some ideas of cool monsters. That
you
may
would
be out
that
in space.
I would have kept those and haven't put them in the story.
Right?
The manta ray is pretty cool, and I don't know about the spider, but the polyhydra was kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. So yes, our next book we're going to talk about is, it's Reptisaurus number 6, and the lead story is called Reptisaurus versus the Red Star. Probably written by Joe Gill. Art again, penciled by Joe Sinnott and inked by Vince Alacia. Oh, Vince Alacia this time, not Vince Coletta. So.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, Reptisaurus' sojourn in China made him hate the Red Star. Man, I bet he hates Texaco.
Yeah. But anyway, so this is Charlton finds a way to have a giant monster fight commies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Cold War. We're talking this is 61 or 62. So.
What is it?
Yeah, 1962.
Yeah.
So, and it's picking up where we left off. Reptisaurus is in the Himalayas, wakes up. We see the Yeti briefly. And then what's going on here?
He's being attacked. So Khrushchev, apparently this is Khrushchev.
Yeah.
Sends his bombers to blow him up. And it doesn't work.
Duh.
Because Reppy loves the taste of
commie flesh.
Oh no, commie airplanes.
All right.
So they got this stupid idea of using cables. And it actually worked.
To tie him up?
Yeah.
I do like all the scenes of jet planes fighting and trying to destroy Reptisaurus to no avail, but it looks cool.
Yeah. But
yeah, they find a way to bind him and trap him in wire cables.
You would think that's, I don't know. When you're making a creature like this, and he's so impervious, and then he can be wrapped up with steel cables, shouldn't it be adamantium?
Right.
I don't know, spider silk or something. But we don't know the rules here, and that's
well, I think that they're just made up as they go along. Oh, he can withstand an atom bomb. Oh, well, in this story, you can get him with steel cable.
Yeah. Yep.
He's as powerful or as unpowerful as needs to suit the story.
Yeah. Oh, Reptisaurus captured by communists in the Daily News. That's a great name for a newspaper.
Yeah.
All right. So America noticed that Reptisaurus is kicking commie butt, and they found out that he's captured. Says, we should free him.
So he'll keep fighting commies.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Really.
And, when you have... The thing is, if I capture this huge creature, I have a lot of men over there guarding it.
Right. I would try to keep it sedated and, under wraps. And even the U.S. would be like, good, the commies stopped it. Because if they freed him, who knows? He could start hating America, you know, and want to destroy stuff over here.
Right.
So, yeah.
Or the commies could take him over and do something.
Right. Take control of him.
Yeah.
And bring him to the States. Sure. Oh, yeah, if they captured him, who's to say that they couldn't just dump him in the middle of, you know, Kansas?
Right.
So.
Yeah, here's finally one, the only plane I've seen in here that looks like an actual Soviet airplane. I think it's a Illusion 2, I'm not sure, twin engine thing.
Sure. Reptisaurus eats it.
Yep. So.
He destroys the Kremlin.
Yeah, and Khrushchev or whoever is running like crazy. And,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of fun.
But then, well, Reptisaurus leaves the Earth. And everybody's happy.
Interesting. That's so weird.
Alright.
So, this is just a one-page filler, but this is very interesting. It's very Cold War. It is... oh, gosh, I'm sorry. Oh, I don't think I wrote it down. But your role in the Cold War. Plan your future now. And I think the art is probably by Bill Molno or Rockmaster Serio, one of those guys, but I don't have credits for it. But it's basically propaganda, like, hey, stay in school, kids, don't do drugs, and help us fight the commies.
Yep. And the guy has a Hitler mustache. So a
school teacher?
School teacher. Man, that's... Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It's kind of funny. But and then there's a backup story called Rulers of the Universe. And it feels like kind of a continuation of that, you know, thing just talking about all the space monsters in the last issue. And this, again, written by Rockmaster Serio. I wonder if this was a longer piece that they just broke up and tweaked and made it two things.
Who knows? Yeah. Well, I guess in a lot of places they're going to be weird creatures
as we explore space.
Right. But in one of them got friendly people with good-looking girls. Yay!
Well, the rest of them are like bat monsters and like ant people and craziness.
Yeah. Yeah, and super intelligent pterodactyls
and worm people. They look like Mr. Mind from Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah.
So it's not much of a story. It's just kind of a, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's about that.
Yeah, okay. Is there any more Reptisauruses on our coming?
No, that's about all we've got with that. So
that might be all there are. I mean, were there much? How many did you say there were? Or
I think Reptilicus / Reptisaurus ran like seriously, I think 7 or 8 issues, something like that. So compared to Gorgo and Conga, which ran each ran quite a bit longer, it's kind of a failure. But yeah, that's all for this episode.
Okay.
Did you have any other thoughts on this one?
Nope.
Okay, and I was going to do that Rhymes with Geek thing at the bottom of the show so we don't do the awkward wrap-up.
Oh, yeah, but why don't you do it at the top and the bottom?
Top and the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, well, listeners...
They're being nice, having us on there. Why not?
Yes, they are. Well, listeners, if you like this show, please visit rhymeswithgeek.com and check out all the other fun podcasts and articles about comics and other nerd junk at rhymeswithgeek.com.